Hello and good day. And good morning. As you know, just that reminder no matter what time of day, I always wish you that sentiment, that freshness, that potential of the morning. So, good morning to you and welcome to another edition of Richard Rants. It's a pleasure having you here. I'm humbled and appreciative. And a big shout out to our first sponsor, Mr. Palmer. Remember, if you need any electronic repaired, just give me a message and he will give you a call. So, today, as we peruse the newspaper, went off on a tangent. You know, that is unusual for me. I tend to stay focused on what is at hand. Uh, Imagine if I end up in hell for that lie. But nevertheless, based what was in the papers, what I read, I couldn't help but think about the human experience. And what is the human experience? You see, although we are existing in the same plane together, we all see each other. You see me, I see you, you hear me, I hear you. It's not necessarily the same. There's this show, Brain Games, whereby one of the episodes, well, they show you all of the particular flaws of the human brain, if you like. And one of the things that they picked up on is that we are able to be so easily influenced in spite of our beliefs, our convictions, whatever we are into. So, in this particular episode, that I think is pertinent to my particular episode, that I'm wondering if there are any copyright issues. There shouldn't be, right? If we get big enough to get copyright issues, then we know we made it. Hey, hey, hey. But anyway, what they did is that they orchestrated a crime in front of a bunch of people, and then they interviewed the people because they're eyewitnesses, and each person gave a different outcome of the specifics. The only thing that was natural was that someone's purse got stolen. But what the person looked like, where they came from, where they went, how it happened, all different perspectives. What the person was wearing, what was the color of the purse, what the woman did, what the all different perspectives. And to make the perspectives uniform, the interviewer coerced them. Not in any dramatic way, just you show the purse wasn't blue, then everybody said the purse was blue. It makes you wonder what goes on in a police station with a signed confession, what goes on in the courtroom when you're being badgered by an attorney, what goes on in the jury room when they're making that decision. Do they stray from the facts? And there's a reason for that, of course. If it's a flaw, if you want to deem it a flaw, and I think it's a flaw, but the reason for it is that, remember, we are kind of pathetic as animals. We can't shoot out anything, no venom, no cat bite, Our only defense is our brain, which is amplified by communication and community. The other defense we have is love and empathy. So basically, if people like you, you have a better chance of being protected. And you can extrapolate it all the way up to the leader of a village or a king or a kingdom, the leader of a peer group, the alpha, the king on the chessboard. You are protected the more people like you. And the people like you, the more you agree with them. So your brain just like, all right, for the greater good. And now suddenly we agree. But in a place where people are so deceitful, it's something to take note of. It's something that you should maybe write down what's important to you to help remember the facts as they are. But that is part of the human experience. It means that the original fact that they all saw something differently means that we see and experience things differently. And you would not experience things the way how I do, although we receive this exact same stimuli. And then there are specific things that we would never experience. For example, the genders, the female experience and the male experience, two completely different experiences. There are similarities, of course, with all men and all women and all humans, but the actual experience is totally different. Now, they would say that a guy is a girl who pussy just fall out. Now, if you look at the anatomy, you would actually see that. The clit, the dickhead, the ovaries, balls, just push it back in and you'll get the female anatomy. And we all start off as female. So one would also argue if men are advanced women. Women might say that is when you overcook rice, it turns to pap, so men will be overcooked. The Bible would say women came from men. But either way, we are similar, but we are different. And the only reason why a female fetus becomes a male is because of the brain. Brain releases whatever chemicals it wishes. So this whole thing, because now I digressing on top of the digression, because I just had a little epiphany there. This whole thing about feeling like a female trapped in a male body and a male trapped is actually possible because it is the brain that releases chemicals that makes you become a male or stay a female. So it really is possible if your brain, something. Anyway, that's another rant altogether. So if so many things are controlled by the brain and controlled by genetics, then my brain would be my own universe, my own existence as with yours. And this experience that we are having in life is invaluable because it's specific and it's unique only to you. And you get to share it, not share it like I in your life and you in mine, but you get to synergize and actually share your experience with others. And in so doing, you actually get to live multiple lives. Isn't that amazing? But in some regards, people would say, if everything is special, then nothing is, because then it becomes ordinary. The poet John Keats will talk about how yin and yang only exist because the opposing force exists. Someone could only be beautiful because they're not ugly. It's as simple as that. So the male experience would only exist because of the female. Otherwise, it will just be life. So being male, I guess I would be having a male experience. Wow. So, coming back to the news, I do look at how society treats men and how men in turn treat society, or vice versa. Could be the chicken and the egg or the egg and the chicken. Either way, men, that brain that's governed by testosterone, seem to have needs that nobody pays attention to, quite frankly. Oh, it's trivialized. Not even men pay attention to it. Not even men acknowledge those needs. But one of those needs is for community, to be a part of, and to be outside or searching, maybe looking to belong somewhere or to be loved or something. But if you take a walk around your neighborhood, and saying that most women are already like, why are you going to walk around your neighborhood for? Already proven my point. But if you take a walk around your neighborhood, you're going to see groups of men all over the place, especially in the rum shops. If you are traveling late at night, you see groups of men in community, not gangs, but in that community. But then it makes me wonder if we have such a need to belong or be a part of something, be it a friend circle, a sporting team, a family, then why do we also need to fight? What is the fight? Is it the same thing like love, that it goes so far left? Men are more prone to be violent than women. Men are more prone to commit crimes than women. But why? Why is that? Why isn't it that we would be more docile? And then in continuing that, men are less likely to talk about their feelings than women. Men are less likely to seek help, to seek counsel. Men are less likely to keep friendships, especially deep ones. And men are more prone to mental illness and suicide. So is it that estrogen makes you more emotional and in touch with your feelings? Because women are more prone to just talk to the point where they tend to talk to align their thoughts, to talk to understand things for no other reason. They don't talk to communicate, they talk to talk. And their brain actually releases happy chemicals when they talk and they sort something out. Men's brains don't. In most cases, it makes men feel too vulnerable, a little bit weak, but women are less likely to just act out. So then, is it because of that testosterone why we tend to be more violent, and it's actually a cry or a call for sympathy? Is it the male scream? And there's something in us, not men alone, but humans, that actually likes to see men do things. That's the reality. Most sporting teams are men. So people, millions of people that's just pay to sit down to watch dudes run up and down and play with a ball. That's the reality of it. And coming out of that, we have social media. We have the fact that gay people exist in both genders, but gay men, oh, that's the topic. That's what everybody concerned about. Even that it prevails in things that would be more serious or things that should be more intelligently designed, less biased. For example, gay women could donate blood, gay men can't. And to this day, they justify it by saying that the HIV/AIDS epidemic was prevalent among gay men, and men more promiscuous than women. Everybody is having sex still. So, what's the difference? And HIV was all this time ago. AIDS was all this time ago. So, what's the difference? So, it's just amazing. Gay women could exist most normal. Cross-dressing women could exist most normal. Indeed, it's almost like a sign of strength, or as a tomboy, wherever have you, women could play sports as most normal. It's cool as everything. Now imagine your son want to do ballet or play netball. It's a whole scene. Girls could play with trucks, boys can play with dolls. That's a whole other scene. Girls like makeup, boys can't be involved in that. Yet still, the makeup industry in the US is like $1 billion industry. And I'm not only talking about makeup for aesthetics, but movie makeup, makeup for art. But if your son pick up, oh my God, boys that like to cook is a scene, but most chefs will renowned are male. Boys that would like to sew is a scene, but that is why we barely have tailors. But most of the top fashion brands are male run. And when we look on social media, there seems to be this need in us to see men, to the point of the extreme of it even being gay men. So one man is awesome, but a group of men, or two men in particular, and they narrate, oh my God, they are literally using gay people, gay men in particular, as clickbait, as what's the word I'm looking for? Besides clickbait, it's not honeypot. I should probably pause the recording and figure out the word. But it will come to me because it had a whole article on that as well, and the LGBTQI community was upset because they deliberately pappy showing them. So if it have one gay scene, Netflix in particular got called out for it. If it have one gay scene in the entire movie, series or whatever, they're going to use that clip to promote it or as part of the promotion. And it's not even, that was an inconsequential part. They even put it in sometimes just for that value. And it's also proven that, again, on the socials, the TikTok trends, bromance, and gay guys, that is what is trending. Almost gay, all these things, that is what is trending, not the regulars. Instagram is all about the Insta models, female. Yeah, those booty pics. But then you have to wonder for how long, because even on the Instas, the men starting to rise as well. But it's one guy. Like Instagram is a single thing. It's mine, so it's one. But like TikTok and YouTube, it's multiple, and they're rising. So with a society that holds male values and masculinity in this rigid form, it's interesting to see that it's for entertainment, because media does reflect your inner desires. That there seems to be this desire to see men be more emotional, especially with each other. It might be something worth going into, something worth exploring. So that is where the newspaper led me to. That experience, that human experience, and how we think or don't think about each other. It also led me to think about drugs, both legal and illegal drugs. What drugs do is alter your brain chemistry. So, in the sense of taking drugs is a way for you to experience what life must be like for somebody that operates on a slightly different frequency from you. And we don't have to put it all up in the heights. It could be really medium, really mellow. One of the side effects of weed for some people is paranoia. So if you have that kind of a reaction, you get to experience what it will be like living with paranoia or fear or that mental illness of, paranoia, schizophrenia, which is fantastic. You're not going to get that real life experience otherwise. Alcohol would give some people bravery. So for that point of intoxication, you figure out what it's like living as a fearless person, as a brave person. So it's amazing. Life really does have, it really does. So the stories that led me to this is that, as we know, the female stranding, war against women, this, that, and the other. I already said my views on that, the way we raise boys, the way we raise girls. And for me personally, I would like women to accept the power that they fought for. Women were treated as second-class citizens. They were treated weaker. The society was very patriarchal. And now, they're even. So if we are equal, or we shouldn't really say equal, we should say equitable. Because, okay, we treat all animals the same. But equal would be expecting a fish to walk. It wouldn't. But equitable will be creating the correct environment for each thing. So if females are now on an equitable standard, or males are now on an equitable standard with females, then females should not be asking for anything. They should be taking the steps that they need to protect themselves, the same way how men do, against other men and against women. I have a friend whose son was properly well honeypot and nearly died. Woman pretending to need help, he went to the rescue. 3 men jump out, nearly killed. I mean, of course, that's also because he was thought to be a gentleman and all of that. But you have to protect yourself accordingly. That wasn't in the newspaper. What was in the newspaper was 19-year-old dude in Chaguanas going for a run. For whatever reason, he nearly get kidnapped. 3 men grab him, throw him in a car. He escaped, he turn up, he kick up, he beat up, he jump out, he roll on the ground, damage himself, bleeding, run for help. He ran to 3 different houses before somebody in the road assisted him. If it is he was a female, that wouldn't have happened. Let's be real. That would not have happened. But also, if he was a female, would he have kick up and fight up and jump out of the car? We don't really hear much females doing that. But there was a female passenger in a repo. She was going to work Sunday morning. The driver do TTV off-route. She stabbed him in his neck. And I'm proud of her. She get beat up, but he gets stabbed in the neck. Which makes me wonder, of the 2 genders, women walk around with weapons all the time. Your nail file. And it don't take much just to stab or the nail clipper with the little pen knife in it. A sewing kit. You compact with the mirror that's glass. You break that. I mean, and nobody does give women any trouble about walking around with those things. You always fully armed. Your hairpin. You feel you can trick out an eye with a hairpin? Imagine when it is you take that hairpin and trick it in your ears and it go too far, how that is feel. Cloth, a bando, your bra. You could strangle somebody nice and easy with that. You all could do things. You could do things. You just need to, or is it estrogen that makes women a bit more submissive? But you all have all the tools. And then I was thinking, lastly, about this is completely unrelated to the other stuff, but it did stand out in that the Pinal Borough Corporation decided they want to pave road, but they want to expand the road. So they expanded into the cemetery, and these people decided to dig up the cemetery to expand the road. All right, no scene. But when they start digging, Madam went to see her dead husband, and Madam see her dead husband. That makes no sense to me. Didn't you see that you dig up an actual corpse? So why nobody said something? Why nobody didn't put it back? Why nobody didn't, or you just go on about all your business? She had was to go to court, and the court had was to stop the work and then investigate. And then 6 men, I don't know why, maybe they couldn't believe, but remember I did say earlier that men seem to like to go outside. So 6 men leave the courtroom to come down the road to see, to tell the other men that was there what to do. If it is we think just a little bit and have some little bit more empathy, situations like this could be avoided. If it is we read each other a little bit more and try to think as to what the other person might be feeling, things could be better for everybody, and we could appreciate perspectives more instead of fighting over them or running from them. If we accept each other more, we could have a whole different experience. It wouldn't have all these wars. I mean, again, men more prone to be in the army and all of that. But what are you fighting for? Maybe if you two brethren sit down and talk, the leaders sit down and talk and have a conversation, instead of feeling so frustrated that they don't want to discuss the feelings, so they're going to fight it out. And who's stronger win. Maybe things will be better. And that initial instinct to be a part of would lead to us being a part of something even bigger. And wouldn't that be amazing? A society built on respecting each other, thinking about each other, and having different perspectives. None of us could see the future. None of us know exactly what's right or wrong. What's right for me might be wrong for you. Nuts are something good to eat, but I might be allergic. It will kill me. But the way how we operate in society is nuts is something good to eat. Now is a law. Eat a nut. No. That's not how it goes. We should stop it. And I'm going to stop it now at 28 minutes. And I was supposed to send... I know, reading over my notes, this is a sincere apology to my producer, Sion Hernandez, who is a great producer, who I messed up because I can't follow instructions. Apparently, in the last rant, I did not tell him where we needed to edit. And we did have a discussion as to how he will be editing using levels and stuff like that. And I go on in the rant and I tell him in the rant, not in reality. Such is life with Richard. So please do not think less of him. He is an awesome producer. So on that note, I do conclude this edition of Richard Rant with the utmost humility. Thank you so much for listening. I do appreciate it. And as usual, please just do your best. Whatever your best is,